Hi everyone, this is Mark from bn-games.com, and we're here doing another classic capture. Today we are playing Grand Theft Auto San Andreas for the PlayStation 2.
Yep, PlayStation 2, and this is the most highest selling game on the PlayStation 2.
Highest selling game, highest selling Grand Theft Auto game, and
not exactly the highest rated, because Vice City was rated a little higher.
Yeah. And all three of us have come to the consensus that we don't like the game.
Yeah, this is gonna
for
be,
various reasons.
Not saying it's a bad game. I want to put that out here now, but we have some criticisms of it.
What we're saying is that the other two were better.
Oh yeah, much better.
I don't know how you guys want to handle this one, because this is kind of a special case. Obviously, the game is in itself is probably one of the most defining games of this current generation and the last generation, because honestly, you know, we're waiting for 5 to come out, and these games were really game changers as far as this whole open world style. Nobody had really tried it before, and they've been incredibly successful with this line. If you ask a 9-year-old today what Grand Theft Auto is, they'll probably tell you what the hell it is. Why? Because they played it.
Well, I got a better one. You just say, hey, what game you want? Grand
Theft Auto. You know, this and Call of Duty are probably the most recognized games at this time.
Hint, if you want to piss Marco off, Grand Theft Auto IV.
Don't talk about that.
So, yeah, it's one of those games that, I mean, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to probably disagree with what we have to say, and there might be some that agree with it. I don't know. I'm going to start out right away. I hate the story. I'm going to tell you right now. I absolutely despise the story, and I play Grand Theft Auto for that reason. I played Grand Theft Auto 3
primarily for
the story mode, because I loved the mafioso.
Well, that's also why I liked 4. I mean, it was Scarface and Goodfellas put together.
I agree.
You mean Vice City?
Vice City.
Yeah.
You keep thinking 4 because sequentially, yeah, Vice City, I agree.
4 was pretty good for what it was. I like 4, but 3 is my favorite. Vice City's your favorite.
Vice City is my favorite.
Vice City's my favorite.
Vice City's
because I mean, that's another thing. I mean, I noticed that in all the Grand Theft Auto games, the main character I like. I mean, the character's always likable. In this game, I don't like the main character at all.
I don't like anyone in this game except for
Samuel L. Jackson.
No.
Even he comes
him,
off like a pompous asshole.
Yeah, no, I don't like.
Here's a funny thing though, and I don't know if you guys will agree. I always thought CJ was, in the way he was written, was supposed to be like the gangster kind of guy who went away and then turned good and came back, and so he should be nicer and not be such a fucking pushover. But he is.
Yeah.
I don't know if you agree there.
Entirely.
No, I always got that he was a pushover to begin with, and kind of after too.
Maybe a little bit. Maybe
that's
a little
always
bit.
how.
Yeah, but I don't know.
I always seen it as he was the pushover, and he's supposed
which is
to
why
grow
he was
into the role.
Yeah, which is why to begin with he got into it, and now he's still coming back into it.
Well, I mean, I think it was written that way also because of all this, you know, the character change and stats thing.
Yeah,
that is something I thought was why he's supposed to be the pushover to begin with, and he's supposed to grow into the big, you know, boss man.
So since we have mostly negative things to say about it, I'd like to just really quickly summarize what it was that they changed from this, because this, in all honesty, you can't deny that this game had a very large amount of changes.
Oh yeah,
some of which did carry on to 4, some of which did not.
Yeah, I mean, some were good, some were bad, and I mean, honestly, I have to say the way they did the detail of the map. You know, trying to map it a little bit to LA and do the real
more than a little bit.
Yeah, they definitely did succeed in that.
But it's, you know, it's I say it's a little. It's not LA Noir.
We should for its generation, it gets this feel.
Yeah.
Let's preface this with we live in Los Angeles.
Yeah,
and
I know
it has the right feel.
It's got, you know, a real long trip to Vegas. It's got Santa Monica. It's kind of has East LA.
It's got Venice Beach. It's got
yeah. I mean,
basically everything.
That's why. I mean, I that's why I said it's good. I mean, it's mapped pretty well. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's not LA Noir. I can't go over, you know, the Street Bridge.
Obviously, but for being a mini version of what it's trying to convey.
Yeah, no.
I mean, for being a flavor of what LA actually is, it's pretty dead on.
That's probably my biggest point of good things to say about it is that that's really well done, especially for the time and for what they can fit onto it. But then again, almost right after that's where my list of complaints starts to begin.
Yeah, so like I said, really quickly, obviously they had a more realistic map this time around. They added stats to the character CJ. You could visually alter him, which you could kind of do before, because you can dress the character from Vice City, whose name is escaping me right now. Tommy Vercetti. You can dress him, but you couldn't change any of his facial features, where here you can change his hair, and you can give him facial hair and cut his hair in different styles.
Too much and make him fat.
They had stats as far as it goes, where he had stamina, he had fat, he had muscle, he had sex appeal.
Balance.
I despise that.
So you can change all that.
I thought that was all pointless and a waste of time.
Honestly, what I used to do when I would start playing this game is I would put in the cheat code to max everything out, and I'd be like,
I think everyone does that.
I'd be like, you know what? I don't want to deal with this bullshit.
Honestly, I don't think anyone plays this game without the codes.
Yeah, and obviously in this playthrough we did cut a lot of parts out. Why it's kind of hard to do a plain playthrough when we're trying to talk about all the things that this game did, that the other ones didn't have, or that maybe didn't carry on. So you are going to be seeing us use cheat codes. And then obviously this had the whole gang system that didn't carry on, and I thought that was kind of...
Well, you could say it didn't carry on, but then it did, because Saints Row.
Well, no, it also carried on in the expansion packs.
In the expansion packs, but not 4 by itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but it is something that Saints Row being highly successful, it does still use that system.
One thing I gotta say, I did like the bikes. That's something that I thought worked pretty well. I thought that it was unique enough where I was like, well, this is interesting.
I thought it was,
and you could bunny hop.
Well, I liked the bike in that sense where okay, you could jump it. Although, in some senses it was kind of pointless. But I did like, I like doing the stunt stuff with it.
Just notice that they're all standing there.
Yeah.
But their feet are not on the ground.
Yeah, there's a... what bothers me most, looking at it now, is their hands. They've got Grand Theft Auto hands, and that pisses me off. I know that for what the game does, it's great and everything, but that's one of the things that I've always had an issue with. Just this, like, they look like they're going to karate chop everything.
Big cups. Well, GoldenEye had the same issue. Remember?
Oh man, don't remind me of that. But that was a limitation of the hardware. So yeah, obviously you have that stat system. There's a lot of mini games, and there's a lot of side quests that you can do. And as you're seeing here, it is definitely the largest map that they've had so far. Although, as of this recording, Grand Theft Auto 5 has claimed to be beating out the space.
But only has one city.
But only has one city, which I'm fine with personally.
So am I.
It streamlines everything, I think. You don't have to worry about, crap, what island was this on, or where do I have to go to get this.
See, the only thing I miss about that is trying to get over the bridge without,
Without fucking up?
Well, without... No. It's
without getting the 4 stars?
No, well, without getting the 4 stars, without, dying on the way down, getting over without, like, anti-grav or something.
I know, I'm happy that it's going to have proper planes again.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
That's one thing that this had, that the other ones did not, because they didn't have the space for it. 3 had the Dodo, which you have to be incredible at to actually even get off the ground. Vice City had helicopters, which worked well enough.
I liked 3 that, it actually had a timer. You could get a bonus for it.
Yeah, well, and then Vice City had helicopters, which worked well because it was a small map. This actually needed jets and actual airplanes.
And you know what? They flew actually really well.
Yeah, they did.
I would say that.
There's a couple parts where I break into the airport and I steal a plane, and I also spawn a Hydra with the code. So here you can see you're obviously eating the food. And other than that, like I said, the main thing it did was it added a lot of side story stuff that you can do to make the end game a lot longer, so it padded it out. Which, Timmy was saying it was something that didn't need the game didn't need.
I said the whole building stats.
Oh, okay.
As far as the side story stuff, that's fine. It adds to the story, or it adds to certain parts. But I mean, as far as like, oh, you know, I need to increase his balance, or oh, my character's too fat so he can't run. That to me in a game like this,
that's one of those things that I'm really happy they did not keep for 4.
Yeah,
I thought it was pointless.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying is pointless. Because otherwise, I mean, the side story stuff. I mean, no, that does add to it. I mean,
I did also like that they made big improvements to the combat system and the aiming system, where you can actually kind of tell whether someone was dead or not.
No samurai sword, though.
That's true. So I think that basically summarizes where all the additions that were made. So
another thing I liked in this one was the parachute.
Yeah, you know, that was really cool.
Like,
that was added to 4 also.
That was added to 4 with the expansion.
Ballad of Gay Tony.
But this was the first one to have that, so I thought that was interesting.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. That one I thought was cool. I mean,
yeah. So I think that basically summarizes what was added. So if you guys want to go ahead and start talking about the problems we have
with
the
story.
The game.
I hate the story. I know I mentioned it before, but I really hate the story.
And in all honesty,
I hate the acting.
It's the whole fucking thug life, you know, boys in the hood thing that sold it so well. Let's be honest.
No, I know that's exactly why.
That bothers
in a lot of ways exactly why I dislike it. Yeah. And you having worked at a Redflix.
Oh yeah, GameStop. I used to work at GameStop. I don't give a shit. I don't work with them anymore. I can say it. Yeah, I used to work at GameStop.
We never had no NDA. So.
Yeah, we never had an NDA. I don't care. Yeah. We used to work. Me and Timmy used to work at GameStop, and you know we would get this request all the time by little kids. And I would love ruining their days by telling their parents this is one of the most violent games we sell.
Say it in Spanish, the way they would tell. Say it in Spanish because he's got to be authentic.
Este juego tiene mucha violencia y no se lo recomiendan para su hijo. And then they're like, ¿qué pinche cabrón, hijo de tu chingada madre? And then the kid's like, pero mamá, yo no sabía. And then they give me a death stare, and I'm like, fuck you, kid.
And see, I'd be watching this, and all I see is
been recorded for the adults of history.
All I would see is like the novella music behind it.
It's like, Marco, Maria. I didn't care.
Why were you making out with the case?
I don't know. I would get it a lot, you know, and
yeah, I mean, I even, you know, would be able to like point it out.
You know, the real thing is those little bastards now are
all Call of Duty.
Well, not only that, but they're teenagers now. Yeah. Or if they were teenagers, then now they're adults.
Yeah. And they still don't know their phone number.
Yeah. Grand Theft Auto. Hey, can I get Grand Theft Auto IV? I swear, that's what Timmy was referring to earlier.
Yes.
Yep. Oh, I know.
Grand Theft Auto IV.
You mean Grand Theft Auto 4?
No, IV.
Do you know what a Roman numeral is?
No, I want IV.
No.
I'm like,
what's your phone number? I don't know. What do you want, Grand Theft Auto?
It's like, are you 18? No, I'm 13.
Well, you're not getting it now, are you?
Oh my god, I can't sell it to you. Why?
I don't blame games for perpetuating certain stereotypes, but unfortunately, this game was a target of certain stereotypes that we know, at least in this area.
Oh,
it's different in different parts of the world, but for people in Los Angeles,
yes,
in Los Angeles, where this was based off of.
Yeah, well, it's kind of saying, oh, LA is just full of this.
And this is every store. This was not just...
No. We've seen it at other stores where we don't work. While we don't work. In modern day, I mean, this game still holds that power. And like I said, it's not that it's a bad game. It's just that the story is the problem.
Now, the thing I think, personally, that I've kind of thought about since we were playing this and going to do the recording for this, is Grand Theft Auto 5, I think, is going to be written... something like an HBO special.
Yeah, I got that feeling
really quick. One of the things I want to mention, another thing I did kind of like about this, although in a sense of this game it's kind of pointless, is the car customization. Yeah. I thought it was really good.
Here you could see, just real quick, you could see a couple of the landmarks.
That landmark is actually near the BN-Game studio. That's the Whittier
sign, and then here's the Coliseum, and before this you saw the Vinewood, which is the Hollywood sign.
Whittier sign.
Yeah, the Whittier sign on Whittier Boulevard.
Whittier Boulevard.
I'm thinking
you see it so much you don't really think about it.
Which is a different color now.
Yeah.
No. It's like when you said Whittier sign, I was thinking like the Rose Hills.
Oh, okay.
No, Hollywood.
No, down here on Whittier Boulevard.
To continue on the Grand Theft Auto thing, Grand Theft Auto 5 is based in Los Angeles primarily.
Yes.
Different parts of LA, but Los Angeles anyway. And you agree with me that it's being written like an HBO kind of.
Yeah, it's
almost comedy.
It's a diamond heist theme where this was all about boys in the hood. Oh, let's get the gang back together because we're in the early to mid '90s, and that's a thing.
Yeah. The reason I mentioned this is I have a feeling that all those people who know that it's going to be LA,
are going to be disappointed that it's not more of this.
That it's not.
I absolutely
thug
agree.
life bullshit.
Yes.
Here's my question though: when will the Z pack come out for it, where it's just zombie apocalypse and Grand Theft Auto?
I don't know that they'll do that. I mean, they did it for Red Dead, but it worked really well. So if they do it,
and
it'll
they
be good.
they wrote a whole thing for
they
it.
didn't
It
just
wasn't-
reskin, and like, here you go.
Yeah.
No. They wrote that.
It wasn't a mod.
They wrote Bigfoot into it. That was impressive.
And he had his own lines and story.
Well, Bigfoot.
And I felt like an asshole.
I don't know. In there, Bigfoot doesn't surprise me. And then Bigfoot
Or
wasn't even
Sasquatch.
part of the zombie one.
Yes, he was. He was.
No,
Yeah, he
yes, he
was.
was.
Yes, he was.
Because
Nope,
you kill his family, and he's like,
he's like,
someone's been killing
No,
my
I
family.
know you do that, but I thought that was
No,
part of the original.
it's part of the zombie expansion,
Undead Nightmare.
Undead Nightmare, and you get the 4 apocalypse horses.
And I want to also say that we're downing the story. I know that they were going for a theme because they always do that.
Yeah.
It's just one that we've had to live with and dislike, and it doesn't help that, for us anyway, that we have to play the game.
That they continue to perpetuate it in that way.
Yeah, and we're not saying not to, because if, let's say, the Grand Theft Auto did do it, I wouldn't mind it, but I don't like this one just because no character's likable. Not a single one.
Yeah.
Not a single one. I will say that I liked the radio station, but it didn't have Laszlo. Like, they didn't have a Laszlo
They
channel.
hint at that, though.
He comes in at certain points. He's like, oh, I was this and this.
Yeah.
But he didn't have, like, a straight, like, he didn't have Chatterbox. Or he didn't
Well,
have...
you got it back and forth,
Yeah,
luckily.
and he didn't have something like Chatterbox, or I mean, he was part of Love Fist,
Yeah.
but he at least has some lines in there. He's almost not in here, and for me, in any Grand Theft Auto, like
because that's the only station you ever
all the
listen to.
That was
polygonal
that's
ones.
the best station
He
in my opinion.
is a character that needs to be in it, and he better be in 5.
And I'm really hoping that they push the stations more.
Yeah.
Because I mean, now that they have the room on these discs to fit more, I'm really hoping that they push that a lot more.
You know what this game was missing? More Beastie Boys.
And too much Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
I'll say, man, I got tired of hearing that goddamn song.
Yeah.
This is my favorite part of the game: is spawning a monster truck and running over everything.
I agree. I tried that. I gotta say, it's easy to flip, but it's also easy to flip back over.
Yeah,
So I did enjoy that.
Well, you know what? It was one of those. Oh no, it's one of those new monster trucks. It's not the classic ones. The classic ones, when they flip, they stay flipped.
My second favorite thing to do is to take a semi and drive through the Nevada desert.
Yeah, there's something soothing about that with Freebird playing.
With Freebird. I mean, it has its spots, more of a gameplay perspective, but nothing from story.
In fact, Freebird was playing as I picked up this plane and flew over.
I don't know why, but you're saying that? I don't know. I'd rather have the Rawhide theme.
Well, that works
That
too.
would work also.
Yeah, that would work also. Although this is perfect. Freebird is literally playing under here.
Yeah.
And as I'm picking up.
It's the other problem with this game was, by the time this came out, in all honesty, I was burned out. Because played through 3 like all hell. I mean, that stayed in my PS2 for 2 years straight. I don't remember swapping the disc for at least a year.
Yeah, I mean, with 3 and Vice City, we probably had played over 400 hours of Grand Theft Auto.
Well over that. And 4 played it, although 4 is not my favorite because I prefer 3's theme. I prefer 3's City. I'm not saying 4 is bad on any level, and although I dislike the map on 4, I'll admit.
One thing I dislike about 4 are the floaty cars.
It's kind of the same.
It's a lot worse here, believe me. Going back and playing this, they are very floaty.
But
I'm talking about the weight.
Here's actually what you were talking about, Timmy. Trying to get in without getting killed into the other islands. I hadn't turned on the code to turn off the police here, so I'm getting chased down by rockets.
I thought if you got the 4 stars by crossing over, it automatically did it anyway. You couldn't.
No,
there's a good turnoff.
In the old ones, in Vice City and 3, if you turn that code on, it would automatically keep flipping on and off. Right?
We had Game Shark for that to turn
Yeah,
off.
but here the code actually does it. And one of the other kind of little glitch or secrets, I guess you could say, shooting the moon with I think you have to be a sniper rifle.
Yeah, that's a sniper.
Yeah. So Like I said, there are things that I really like that this did. Gameplay wise, I thought it fixed a lot of the problems that some of the older games had, but
no, but like I said, by the time
story.
by the time we got to this point, by the time I got to this point, I was so burned out on the formula. And
I remember playing this and thinking, yeah, I'm not gonna buy this. I'm gonna go back and play Vice City some more.
I would have preferred. I would have probably played it if the story was still good. I would have probably played it through to the end, but I never did. I'll be honest, I never finished it. I know what happens. I've seen it, but I couldn't care less. I think the one thing we need to mention historically, this did have a sex mod built into it. There's a big controversy.
Oh, the hot coffee mod?
Hot coffee. You know, there was a lawyer who was disbarred from trying to get this game.
Ironically, and we're talking about this, and I included the scene because I know it happens. There's a scene I included here where someone's getting a blowjob in the back, and nobody ever noticed that.
No, I think that was well.
It's in the part where he breaks into the gangsters' homes when they're all doped up.
Yeah.
And in the background, you clearly see a woman giving fellatio. So I just thought that was always interesting.
Well, it's probably because it's not the game.
But you're not controlling it.
I know. I'm just saying. I always thought that was funny that nobody ever made a big deal out of that, or mentioned it at all.
You also have to say that this is a first edition that we're playing.
Yeah. No, actually, this is the PS3 version. We actually bought it on the PSN store because we want to record it.
It's essentially the same.
Well, we do
have the original black unmodded PS2 version of the game.
I forget what the copyright date is on the case, but that's an easy way to tell if it's a first or second edition.
Yeah, well, they trained us to know that because we couldn't take in.
Oh no! Every time you'd scan it and it wouldn't go through.
Yeah, it's because it was
first edition.
Well, that you also have to learn how to see it on the disc if they brought it in, because that was one of the ones that you always found fucked up and scratched. Grand Theft Auto games and Midnight Club games were the ones that you always found scratched or were missing the boxes. Why? Because it was always a bunch of little kids trading them in.
And you know what you always had to do? Just look up the SKU and type it in.
Alright, everyone, well, this was a classic capture for Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
Obviously, you guys are going to send us hate mail, so just do it.
Please subscribe and let us know what you think. Thank you.